So, let's see. Let's introduce our guests.
Jim's on stage.
Thank you.
Good night. It's my pleasure this morning. It's my pleasure this morning to introduce our visitors and guests. The first two guests, they were awful noisy this morning, but it was Ava Kleindance and Madeline Felby. Friends of, or visitors of Deb Kleindance. Ladies, what's so funny? And then our two speakers this morning, we have Mike Black and Wayne Martin. Well, only one of them. Go on here. Oh, okay.
Thank you, Jim. Let's give our guests a warm welcome.
Want me to go with this?
All right, who has 50-50? Blair, you'll have to tell me when 50-50 is over.
All right, thanks, you're good.
Okay, thanks. By the way, Jim, I did not have my notes with me 2 weeks ago at the meeting, so I do believe I missed wishing you a happy birthday. So happy birthday to Jim Kraft, who celebrated it on the 14th of this month. Next, let's see, happy dollars. Anybody have a happy dollar?
No happy people.
No happy people? All right.
Good smile, but no happy.
All right, sounds good. All right, so today is Bad Joke Tuesday. You will have to thank my friends who joined us last night for game night for if you don't like this joke. So what do you call a, wait a minute, what do you call a, oh, what do you call a one-leg man? Oh, wait a minute, wrong one. A guy invented a shoe for one-legged people to wear at the beach. What do you call that? It was a flop. All right, at least I got Blair laughing. All right, do we have any announcements?
We do have some voting.
Too much technology. Just a reminder of the Pints for Polio event on October 23rd. We'll have a sign-up sheet for staffing that evening. Special thanks to Lou Lavington. He signed up, and he also is getting us some items for our auction as well. So great job, Lou. We are working on the website for ticket purchases. In the meantime, you can buy you can buy actual tickets from me anytime you'd like. Anything else? All right, thank you.
right, any other announcements?
No other announcements.
All right, I think then we're ready for Nate or who is going to introduce our speaker for the day.
I'll turn your pitch on. This is on for testing. Good morning, everybody. So this morning to Wayne Martin with Academic Athlete. Wayne is a seasoned engineer, entrepreneur, and youth advocate with a passion for empowering students through education, athletics, and career readiness. He's a founder of Academic Athlete Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting student athletes in pursuing careers in STEM and skilled trades. Wayne also leads MDS Engineering, a firm providing innovative mechanical, electrical, and plumbing design solutions across the region. Today, Wayne will share his journey from student athlete to engineer and business owner, highlighting the importance of aligning ambition with purpose. He will provide practical insights on how students can leverage their academic and athletic strengths to build fulfilling careers in engineering trades and entrepreneurship. Wayne, welcome.
Yeah, but full screen. Let's see here. Can you make that a full screen? Not sure. Like slideshow. Sorry, folks, technical difficulties here.
Is this sound as a problem?
It is. Seemed to be a web browser or something like that.
Oh, it's depending on give it control back up. Yeah, you did. Yes, you have a little 50-50, we pay on the help. That's good. All right, let's do it. We need those, we need them to be happy.
Was that all?
1 second, so you can share.
Yep.
Right. There you go.
I'm a fan. Right, next. Not us, but maybe. Do I have to do it again? We do it right. We have to do this point. We gotta go back to the first. All right. Is that better? Is that better? Much better? Okay, all right. Well, good morning. Welcome. I appreciate you all having me here today. My name is Wayne Martin. I am also a fellow York Rotarian. I'm here to present the academic athlete. Our motto here is lifestyle defined by mindset. Next. All right. What we're going to get into today is the introduction. We're going to talk about our mission, the reality, our goals, our team, what we do, and ways to partner, and our sponsors. All right, myself, once again, I'm Wayne Martin. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. Grew up there. I relocated from there about 6 years ago. Currently reside in York. I went to Eastern Tech High School, which is a very prestigious public school. It's still rated #1 in all of Maryland right now. But I was fortunate enough to actually go to that school. I ended up going to Morgan State University, where I ended up getting my degree in electrical engineering. And then shortly after that, got into my career path here, which is electrical engineer. I'm a licensed electrical engineer today, which led me to start my own company, MDS Engineering. We've been in business since 21, I'm sorry. And subsequently, which led me to start this new nonprofit called the Academic Athlete. So jumping back to my childhood here, what I do when I go out there to speak with the youth about the academic athlete, I kind of give my background, right? I kind of give who I am, my story, because that's the fundamental principle of the academic athlete, is trying to compare or try to actually attain the attention of the youth, right? We want to be able to resonate with them. We want to be able to show them that it is life beyond sports. And where I come into play is the fact that I was one of them. I grew up in a location where there was little to no resources, right? So little to no resources give you limited flexibility and understanding of what the world is about, right? So I was fortunate enough to actually go to a great high school because of sports, right? But going to that high school allowed me to visually see what the opportunities were without little guidance. And that's the problem. When these kids are in these underserved communities, there's no guidance, there's no awareness, there's no support, which lead to bad choices, which also leads to, it's one or the other, right? It's either they're going to get themselves into trouble and not be productive citizens of society, right? Or try to find another means to be successful in life. And their only way that they believe they can be successful in life is through sports. You turn on the TV, they see the superstars, they see how they made it to whatever professional organization out there, they see their lifestyle, they see how they live, and they want to achieve that, utilizing their physical attributes. But the thing is, these kids have more to give than their physical attributes. And what we're going to get into is the fact that it's not likely for those individuals to be successful enough to be a professional athlete and to get compensated to live to live life. So utilizing a lot of those skill sets that they have in sports can translate into the real world, into the working world, right? So this is what we're trying to shed that light on it so that they can actually have a comfortable lifestyle, opposed to putting all their eggs in one basket and not succeeding. And now you're back at square one. And square one is poverty, more specifically generational poverty. And we're trying to break those cycles, right? So that's kind of the goals here. For myself, I am fortunate enough to be able to break that cycle by using what's up here opposed to my physical attributes. You know, I was a Maryland All-Star football player, right? I was very good at it, right? But I made a conscious decision when I went to college to forego my dream, my love for football, to focus on my academics. And it has paid dividends, right? I live, you know, a pretty comfortable lifestyle. And this is what I want to show. I want to show these children that this is possible if you apply yourself in the right way, right? So, all right, so I'm gonna try to give a little icebreaker here for you. Want to know why the academic athlete is here today? So, last February, I ended up taking my family down to Universal Studios. We did the VIP, right? So we were fortunate enough to be able to afford something like that. And it's amazing, like first and foremost. What ended up happening was the fact that while walking around being escorted by our tour guide, we were in one of the attractions. And while walking around in that attraction behind the scenes, there was some folks, you know, there's a long queuing line above and walking around, some gentleman, and I take no exception to it, but he just leaned over and asked me, so what team you play for? And I just looked back up at him and I said, I don't play for a team, and just walked away. Right there, I immediately, after many years of this, because you can see by my stature, I may look like a professional player, right? But right then and there, I was like, I want to wear something that convey who I truly am, right? And the running joke is, I just wanted a damn t-shirt. That's all I wanted. I wanted a t-shirt to basically walk around to say, I'm an engineer, because I'm actually proud to be an engineer, right? So that's kind of the running joke there when it comes to the academic athlete. But then further sitting back, I started to really think about what that really meant, right? And I thought about, there's a fundamental problem here that's way deeper than a saying on a shirt. And that I want to try to address it and try to break some stereotypes, some stigmas, and things of that nature to kind of help our youth actually see that, and also their parents and others, to show that these kids are more than sports. And we got to show them the pathway. So that's kind of where the academic athlete kind of originated. And we only been, we started in November of 2024. We really started to hit the ground in 2025, January. Next slide, please. And once again, our mission here is we envision a future where every child, regardless of background, rises as academic champions, transcending stereotypes to excel in STEM, the arts, and beyond. Through mentorship, educational programs, and community engagement, we empower youth to excel, fostering a love for learning and cultivating future scholars and innovators and leaders. So that's kind of our mission. This is beyond race. This is beyond gender. This is a fundamental issue where they are in a situation that, you know, they need to find an alternative method how to get out of it, right? Poverty is real. And a lot of us in this room don't necessarily see it or have experienced it. But it's real, and it's majority of the country here. And if the more that we can shine awareness to these kids and help them, unfortunately, there's a lot of, you know, funding issues when it comes to schooling, you know, programs and things of that nature. But hey, guess what? Sometimes you just have to be there for them. Sometimes it's just beyond funding, right? Sometimes just showing that you care to be able to be a mentor, just be there for them. So that's kind of what we're trying to bring to light here. Next slide, please. So the reality, as I mentioned earlier, you know, only 2% of high school athletes go on to play at the collegiate level. I could get into all the different sports where that number decreases significantly, let alone playing at the professional level. Everybody wants to be a football player. Right? Well, it's only 32 teams. It's only 50 so people to a roster. There's 330 million people in this country. The odds are not in their favor, right? So that's kind of where we're trying to convey is like, hey, do what you love to do. Be passionate about what you do. Continue to play the sports. Have fun. Understand that there is fundamental principles behind what you're doing that's going to carry with you beyond sports that can help you in life and help you in your respective careers, only if you apply yourself. Next slide, please. Our goals is nonprofit collaboration. You know, what we're doing, who we are, we're not a Big Brothers Big Sisters organization. We are a tool for organizations such as Big Brothers Big Sisters or the Advantage Program and other nonprofits out there that actually have in-house programs and mentorship and that have a group of kids on a continuous basis. We are a resource. We're here to come and sit with them in engaging environments to convey what the possibilities are, share our stories. You know, my story is the reason why we're here to the table here, but the next slide will show the board and who's on the board, in which they all have different stories. Subsequently, we are picking up more volunteers that love what we do and feel that this is a strong need. At the end of the day, this is what I tell them, everyone has a story. This is my story. I get into very intimate details of my upbringing to kind of resonate with the kids, to show them that whatever they're going through, I've been through, or at least can relate to it, and show them how to possibly get out of it, how to deal with it, how to cope with it, how to get beyond that. So that's kind of what we're trying to accomplish here. School curriculums, we're working, we're going to be working with many of the local school districts here with some of their in-house programs, right? So coming there and speaking with their kids in very intimate settings. In addition, they may have STEM programs that they would like to have, you know, support from true professionals. Once again, in terms of STEM, what is STEM, right? Science, engineering, technology, mathematics, engineering, right? So you can have a true professional come out there and help you with your STEM program. Be engaging with them. Help them learn, you know, help them see beyond what they're doing and how it can compare to actual real life application. Tomorrow I'll actually be at Your Country Day, working in their robotics program and giving them a little background on who I am, but actually working with them hands-on on some of their robotics, right? So just not only the educators that can convey and help support the kids, but actually bringing in folks like myself and many others in the respective industries to help them see, you know, have that real life one-on-one experience with them. Once again, speaking engagements, that's the fundamental here. Obviously myself, I'm the main one at this point, but you know, we have Mike Blackett, who's also on the board. He has a story to tell, and many others have stories to tell. So as we continue to grow, we plan to get everyone out there, help them see different perspectives. They all differ. They're all not the same story, but they all are stories that should be told in the struggles and issues that they had to overcome to get where they are today. Next slide. All right, myself, my wife, Lakeisha Mon, she's the vice president. McDee McNeil, he's the treasurer. Michael Roscoe, he's the secretary. Kristen Pucci, she is a member at large. Mike Black, who's in this room, is member at large. And Derek Wilbur is another member at large here. These folks were hand-selected for a very specific reason, as I mentioned earlier. They all have a story. And folks like McDee McNeil, like Mike Black, they all played basketball, had dreams of playing, you know, at the next level, or at the next highest level possibly, but they transitioned to be, you know, head of a cybersecurity for the United States government, you know, or entrepreneur here. Kristen Bucci, she was a competitive dancer, right? She done field hockey and soccer at very high levels, but now she's a owner of a marketing business, right? And Derek Wolford, he has a very unique story, played Division I baseball, ended up transitioning. Now he's a great project manager at a local excavating home. So once again, and they have internal traumas that they had to deal with. And a lot of the youth don't know how to deal with the traumas. They take it and don't necessarily know how to focus it or channel it to the proper direction, which is north or up, right? In the positive direction. So being aware, being a tool, being a resource for them is the goal. Next. So what we do. So we, once again, we're fresh, right? We're only a few months in, we're not even a year old, and we have made many strides forward in the organization. We're growing, but we also, in order to continue to grow, we need everyone's support. We need everyone to understand what we do, who we are. And we offered scholarships earlier this year, and we had 3 recipients here, as you can see at the bottom here. Each one of them applied to the organization with a letter of recommendation from a coach, letter of recommendation from a teacher, and also their grades, and had to prepare a essay to be considered for these scholarships. Once again, being new, it wasn't a plethora of applicants this year. However, the ones that did apply, that did take the time, did take the initiative, were reviewed, and these were the 3 here, and they all have very bright futures ahead of themselves in the STEM trades here. Career shadowing. So one of our goals, in which we're in the middle of developing this, is create a job shadowing, career shadowing program. What we want to do is have relationships with respective companies in the STEM and trades in the region, and being able to partner with like Big Brothers Big Sisters, right? Or York City School District, and have select kids on a rotation on maybe a monthly basis come with the academic athlete and be sourced out to some of these respective jobs based on some of their desires. You know, once again, excavating company. Okay, I want to be in construction. Hey, maybe I want to be a computer analyst. Okay, we'll work with one of them. Hey, architecture. So we have trying to build partnerships with these different companies so that we can allow for direct access for career shadowing. So, you know, so that as juniors and seniors in high school, they could see what is actually out there. Another thing that I'm working on is the fact that partnering with different colleges. A lot of these kids in these situations or areas don't know what college really looks like. And being able to take them physically to a college campus and walk around and get a feel of what it looks like, and they can visualize themselves in that atmosphere. This is what we're about here. Community events, you know, if there's job careers or different events that are happening with the school districts or the other nonprofits, we like to be there. We like to help support. So, and then what's actually not up here is the fact that we like to partner with, maybe it's on the next slide. Okay, yep. What we also do is chess club. One thing that we rolled out earlier this year, which was actually successful. We had kids that wanted to sign up free of charge, you know, and learn how to play chess. A lot of them never played chess before, but even after the first event, they picked it up and they actually loved it. From our perspective, chess brings out, you know, strategy, right? It's all about critical thinking. if you could try to pick up those key little traits in the individuals while they're young to see how they can apply themselves to real world applications, that's kind of the goal here. Chess is about critical thinking. If you play sports, you're doing things in microseconds, making very big decisions in microseconds. But the only consequence to that is you may lose the game, right? Okay, well, real life, you make very large decisions within seconds that could be detrimental to your overall life, right? On the flip side of that, critical thinking applies to a lot of STEM and trades, right? So being in teams, working with a team, let's just say you're the team captain of, the lacrosse team. Great. You have great leadership characteristics that can be applied to you. Now you could be a hell of a project manager for this architecture firm. So once again, it's a lot of parallels that we're trying to show these kids of, what they love to do, what they do without thinking, and how it can apply to their futures moving forward beyond sports. Team engagement. So this is one thing that here, actually late last year, we actually sponsored the Mayfield Mat Academy. This was a sponsorship that allowed kids in a wrestling program to travel to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and compete on the biggest stage in wrestling. This helped supported their expenses, offset their expenses with many other contributors to help support this. But we were the main sponsor for the organization. And I tell you what, the looks on the kids' faces, even the parents' faces when that occurred, was like no other. And then seeing those kids out there compete, doing what they love, was great to see. So what we're trying to do now is we're going to be building a portion of the Academic Athlete where we're teaming with other clubs, not only from speaking engagements and just trying to bridge that gap, the gap between student and athlete. That's my problem here. A lot of people use the term student athlete very loosely. It's kind of like a, key, one of those hot words to say, but fail to focus on the student part of it. Just focus on the athlete part. Now we want to bring that student athlete really to light here. So what we're going to be planning to do is partnering with different sport organizations and teams in many different ways that we'll be talking about here shortly. But another way is possibly creating standalone teams and having, depending on the sport, and having those children apply to be a part of that free of charge or a little cost at all to them, where it may be a AAU basketball tournament happening, which everything, these types of tournaments cost money, right? So having them apply to be a part of the academic athlete team, right? And we sponsor it, we support it, but they only can be accepted based on their grades, based on what their academic accomplishments. You could be the best player on that field with poor grades. Well, that's not what we're about. Now we can help that best player be more academically responsible, but there are rewards to performing in the classroom that we want to kind of highlight. And this is what we're going to try to roll out as part of our activities and programs as well. So more details to follow on that. STEM support, once again, working in-house with different school districts, working with their STEM programs. They may have CAD, computer aided drafting, right? Where we can go in there and work with the kids on the computer and show them what it looks like, what it feels like in terms of a real world application, opposed to designing, something that is kind of curriculum based. We could bring out some of the real world applications on what we do and see how that really applies to them, to see how the internal workings are. So, next slide. All right, ways to partner, we're always looking for help in any and all ways. Donation, go to the website. Just simply donate, like Give York and things like that. We're always welcome to that. From the individual and corporate sponsorships. The next slides will have a little take on some of those corporate sponsorships that are available. Mentorship partners. So as mentioned, even if you don't have money to give, maybe you have to give your time. We're always looking for people to help with some of these programs that we're going to be continuously developing. We may have after school programs where, the local school can bring over a few kids, and they can have hands-on mentorship and help with homework or questions about academic related subjects. In-kind support. So if you're a company, sometimes, providing professional services to help us, from like the CPA services or legal services and things like that. Those are other ways to help support. And last but not least, social media. Simply getting online, sharing our information, conveying to your friends and family who we are, other organizations who may benefit from this. It's about bringing awareness, and the more that we can promote who we are to get it across, I could foresee this organization growing into local chapters in different cities. We're started right here in York, but this can expand to, a city in Chicago, and things of that nature. So this is where we're going with this, but this is just the start. Next. This is also on the website, but just to give you an insight on some of the corporate sponsorships that are available that you can easily, take a look at it a little bit more detail or interested online, and or just reaching out to me and I can provide you whatever you may need. Next slide, please. Same deal. Those are the lower tier sponsorships where every little bit helps, right? Next slide. All right, so to date, you can see some of those different sponsorship tiers. Here's some of our current sponsors here. It ranges from $500 sponsor. There's folks that have given $10, but there are certain levels like $500 and above where it's acknowledged on our Hall of Fame page on the website. And we give a lot of social media acknowledgement to these sponsors for their generous donations and support as we continue to grow. So I'll give you an idea of who they are. Luminate MITRE Foundation. That was actually a fairly new one recently. And then many of our advocate sponsors and community partners, they all serve a place for us to help us get us where we need to go. Next slide, please. All right. Well, this will conclude our presentation here today. And I want to thank York East Rotary for your time this morning. And if you have any questions, feel free. We get directly to the site from there, or just go to the academicathlete.org website and you can find more information. Any questions? Yes, please.
You're going through all these programs that you do with young folks, which is really.
Absolutely. So the parents are a key factor in reaching the youth. We can talk to the kids all day long, but parents don't help support. They need to go. It's kind of a wash. So yes, we try to include the parents as much as possible to give them the necessary information and tools to help their kids get where they need to go and kind of change their mindset and thought process, opposed to just focusing on making that kid the star athlete and not necessarily, focusing on the academics. Sometimes what they say, C for pass or something like that, but it's more to that. Next.
What age are you most successful in reaching this new path?
So we focus on K through 12, okay? And I found that every tier, let's just say K through 5 is important and instrumental versus 6 through 8, and then 9 through 12. Obviously, I want to say that the middle school to high school, definitely middle school is our most effective age group where we try to, convey, try to educate them because this is where they are mature enough to understand what's going on and to hopefully start to change their minds as they enter high school. Elementary school, K through 5, this is where we want to make it fun. We want to try to bring out some of those attributes that they don't even know that they have and just try to bring it to light. And then in middle school, try to harness on that and build on top of that in a meaningful way so that they can understand what is available. And in high school, this is now boots on the ground. Let's really see our options here as we continue to perform academically to prepare for the next stage. The next stage doesn't necessarily need to be college, in which this is the other factor, is the fact that we're trying to be relevant. We're trying to stay current on news. And, everybody's aware of AI, right? Well, that's one of the things that we try to educate these kids on AI and try to understanding the different career paths out there. Who wants to go into a career path where you pour 4 years in college just to come to find out that that particular career field is not available because of AI, right? So it's trying to help them see what is going on and be their mentor, guide them in the right direction based on what they are, based on who they are. Next. Yes.
Scholarship recipients, where is their path? Where are they headed?
Yes. So Jaden, he's actually still in high school. He's planning to go to college, but he's heavily involved with STEM activities and programs. Let me see. Got the name. Give me 1 second. There it is. Okay. And he's actually from Maryland. Madison, she's actually a freshman in college right now, and she actually helped the Southwestern High School build their women's wrestling program. So, but she's in college right now as a physics major. Okay. And then lastly, Nicholas, he's actually a student at Dallastown, and he played football and very instrumental into their orchestra and other things. So they're all different, but they are excelling at both sides of that student athlete that we wanted to recognize. Mhm. Yes.
Do you guys get to come up here in New York? What's your reach? So it sounds like you're Southwestern Dallastown, you're Maryland. How far are you?
Great question. The reach is about a 2-hour radius today. As we continue to grow, we will flow wherever it takes us right now. The goal is to help. And where there's a need and want for us to help, we will. So we go as far as south as DC, Baltimore, obviously, up to Harrisburg area, out to Philadelphia. Pittsburgh is kind of borderline because that's that 3-hour stretch, but if it's a need, we'll go. We actually, with one of our sponsors right now, we have a partnership with them and that's the Luminace. They are a renewable energy company that excels in solar design and installation, in which as an electrical engineer, I do a lot of solar design. So they have a partnership with Anne Arundel County Public Schools right now, where they're going to be, where they have and are engaging in STEM related activities for the county. And they're gonna, the academic athlete will be attending some of those, STEM-related activities to showcase, that one, help support, promote STEM, and give professional experience on actual design of photovoltaic system, solar power.
Yeah, Chris, I think we're about to wrap it up. Yeah, Chris, are you ready?
I am.
Go ahead.
All right. I think Greg has presented the books to our speaker. This was an excellent presentation. I wish you, along with the rest of the club, with the best of luck in your new venture. It sounds very exciting, and I'm glad you had the opportunity to learn more about it. All right, if there's nothing else for the good of the cause, I think we are adjourned. Good morning. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
That worked pretty well.
Good.
Yeah.
So when you talk to me, are you and I the only two that can hear each other?
Often, yeah, I was muted a fair amount here and there. So when I turned back on, sometimes you heard me through the speaker, but for the most part, it was just you and me.
Okay,
Other
That
than
way,
when
if
I
I have-
said, are you ready to wrap up and things like that.
right. I
Yeah.
gotcha.
All right.
Well, sounds good. All right. Well, I'm sure they'll have some adjustments, but this was a great experiment.
Okay, sounds good. Yep, very good. So we're doing this for the next 2 or 3 weeks?
No, just for today. I don't
Okay.
come down to the off for the extended time until more like the end of January. But I
Okay,
thought this was the perfect opportunity to give it a
Yep.
try.
perfect. All right, I think
I
Chris is
really-
ready to shut us down beside me.
Yep, I really appreciated it. Thanks.
You bet.
Chris.
Take care.
All right, you guys take care.
Yep, see.
Bye-bye.